The asset management plan, capital improvement plan is fed off of that asset management plan. We evaluate our fund balance, so making sure that we've got our emergency fund. Then we look at all of our inputs for daily operations maintenance, so wages, supplies, equipment, all those things. Then there's the things we cannot negotiate. We can't manage them down, they're just our fixed costs. So that's our debt. Those are the other things that we absolutely have to pay, like the contract costs on the water tower, that kind of thing. Calculate, and then from all of that, figure out what the actual recommended rate is. And at the end, and this is what we started talking about when we've been doing our budgeting, is the affordability and making sure that our cost really in line with affordability and thinking about that for our community as well. Today, of those steps, it's the asset management that I really want to dig into. And asset management is basically knowing all the things you have, knowing what their service life is, knowing what their current condition is, knowing when it's going to be replaced, and knowing how much it's going to cost when it needs to be replaced. And using that data to figure out how much money is needed every single year to be able to afford taking care of them, being able to afford replacement when it has to happen. Everything has to be replaced. There's no just building it and then it not needing to be replaced. The basic cycle of asset management starts with planning, and then we buy a thing, we take care of it, we use it, and then we get rid of it and we buy another one. That's the basic cycle. Asset management does some pretty amazing things. I don't know if you can see that. You seeing it? All right. So this is the value of what asset management does. In 2022, we didn't have a good asset management, an active asset management plan that was being used to calculate rates. So in 2022, I used what we did have from 2018 and 2019 as far as an inventory. I worked with the DPW to assess what items we had, what condition they were in. We made a big list, and then from those lists, we figured out how much money we needed. I'm gonna use just one element as an example here of, again, what the value of asset management does. In 2022, one of the elements we had, one of the pieces of equipment we had was the Mount Hope lift station generator. That had been installed in 1999 and was failing. We had constantly needed to do a lot of maintenance on it. It was questionable sometimes whether it was gonna actually start. It was supposed to last 30 years. Obviously, 25 years is really how long these puppies last, even with the maintenance we did. We had no plan at that in 2022 to replace it. We have no funds set aside in 2022 to actually replace it. The hope was we'd get five more years out of it. We estimated we'd need $53,000. That comes out to $10,600 a year over those 5 years, divided by 12 months, divided by how many people are connected to the sewer system. That's $1.42 per RU per month to pay for that in those 5 years, because that's what we had. That's how much we had. We recently, that failed last year, and we had to just replace it, right? Just full out replace it. Once that was done, I immediately went and updated our asset management plan and said, okay, we replaced it. This is how long we expect it to last. That is now 25 years. You do the calculation, and by doing this planning out, not waiting till the last minute, not fixing things when they break, now we're looking at 36 cents per RU per month for the course of 25 years instead of $1.42 per RU per month, just for that one generator. You multiply that times the 2 generators on the 2 big lift stations and all of the other equipment. We've got tens of thousands of feet of pipe for sewer, valves, manholes, etc. And y'all looked at the budget many times. You know how expensive that is. Now, this is what we're doing. This is the long-term goal, is that it becomes sustainable, we get everything on there, and then the rates actually start to equalize and come down. Just wanted to show where we're going with that. So budget and sewer rate calculations, these are just some of the things that we actually are the other pieces that go into it. We talked about in our budget things, like I said, all the daily operations, salaries, wages, utilities, those are things we can't negotiate. Leone contract, it is what it is. That's our expense. There's no getting around it. We can't manage labor, or we can manage labor and do a little less there, but we can't change what the Leone contract is going to be. We're going to pay them. We pay a ton, almost half of what we pay monthly in RUs goes straight to Leone. Again, not something we can negotiate. It is what it is. Where we can control it is on asset management, long-term planning, and sustainability. This is another graphic that I think everybody in this room has seen already. We've talked about the affordability before. We talked about, when we did the budget meetings, how even though from FY 24, 25, 26, 27, the median household income is going to go up, we're also recognizing in our affordability aspect how so many of them are on a fixed income, or also acknowledging that we do have a lot of people on a low income household. As long as we stay in that 1 to 2% mid-range, we're not undercharging our rates to not have enough money for our sewer system or our water system, and we're not gouging, and we're in the low range, we're not even halfway there. So we're not anywhere close to overcharging our people as far as the affordability goes. Forward projections, again, we're starting to see some sustainability. We had a huge rate increase in 2023 of 41%, and it went up again in 24, it went up again in 25, but the numbers in between, it's starting to get tighter and tighter and tighter, and that's the value, again, of asset management planning. Water rates, we do the exact same thing. One of the things I'd like to note is the water tower maintenance. Part of the cost of why things cost the way they are is we have this many people, but the expenses are the same. Our 500,000 gallon water tank costs the exact same to maintain and take care of in Grass Lake as it would in Ann Arbor or Grand Rapids or anywhere else. We don't get a break on that. We just have fewer people to share the bill. So that $111,357 payment that we're making for 3 years, this December we'll make the third of that. The actual cost of that divided by 621 people per month is just over $14. We're actually only charging $9.22 for our water tower fee. So we are being considerate. We're still not going the full amount, and we are still being gentle.
621?
We have 621 connections to the water system. That's it. So when you think about the basic math, when people are screaming how it's cheaper in Ann Arbor, or it's cheaper in Jackson, divide that cost of that water tower by the population connected in Jackson to the 621 that we've got connected here. It's just math.
So that 621, that's a combination between the village and the township?
Yep,
That's total, huh?
those are how many we
I thought
bill
we had
for.
600 homes in the village.
We have 621 meters we bill for.
So everybody else is on well, right? That means.
The township, yeah, the vast majority of the township, there are
Yeah, but then we get all these other
people.
subdivisions. I thought we had 600 plus homes in the village or whatever.
We have a few people not connected, a few parcels not connected to the water system, but the vast majority are.
That's just village?
No,
No, that's township.
we
It's
bill
township
for
too.
621 total meters on the entire water system. Yep,
But all the subs then going out Mount Hope Road don't have water.
most of them do not have water, that is correct. Some of them have water in the front. There are a couple that had to connect because of issues with chemicals in their soil.
Yeah.
We need to be prepared that at any given time, those soils could become dangerous and people will have to connect. What's the name of the?
Arsenic.
Arsenic, I'm gonna start with the name.
There's arsenic in the ground.
There's a lot of arsenic in our community.
Oh, like the fertilizer that farmers used for,
That's one, it's also a naturally occurring chemical, so it just
Yeah.
is our area.
So how many residents do we have in the village?
1,105 based on the last census.
Just, sorry, I didn't mean you to know this, Myth, how many homes then are in the village?
I'll have to get a hard number on that one.
I didn't know if you knew yet. I don't expect you to know it.
That's certainly one I will be happy to look up. So again, this is where we're at for water rates. This year, we were able to only increase 73 cents. Flat rate, it's not gonna move, people aren't gonna see the bouncing up and down because of the increase. They're only gonna go up and down based on their actual use.
I think there's about 400 in the village. That's a rough guess.
So the question he begs, that I keep being asked about is, how, in your crystal ball, how long you think we're gonna be before we're gonna see a rate increase?
For water,
Yeah.
we'll see a rate increase every year.
Every year?
Yep, got one this year, 73 whole cents. Yep, and you can expect one next year. There are things that we are still not, that we still don't have on the asset management plan, right? We don't have full planning and budgeting for all of the segments of the 1939 water main that needs to be replaced. There are elements of that Eagle are gonna want that we don't have scheduled out yet. Like they want us to have a full-on emergency if our well goes down, being able to just plug right into another water system somehow, or turn another well on somehow and magically have it already there. We don't have that in our asset management plan yet. There are a lot of pieces that we're being gentle about adding them on because we understand that the affordability. So as, like in the sewer thing where I showed, as we do better planning, some elements are gonna go down. It doesn't mean the rate is necessarily gonna go down. It means that we're gonna have the money to be able to start doing these other things without doing giant increases. So we're talking about, instead of big rate increases and maybe down, we're talking about a nice general slope now. We actually, the total increase for water and sewer this year was less than the cost of inflation. So we did a really good job. And that's what the management does.
Channel 10 News was just talking about a town up by Lansing that they were having a town hall meeting about, and Tim informed the public that they want to do a whole new water project, and the rate increase will be 126% of their current water bill. So,
Massive.
yeah, but they have to replace a whole bunch of pipes and a whole bunch of,
Yep.
you know, infrastructure.
Yep. In 2023, when we first did that 41% rate increase for water and sewer, one of the things I said is that this use of asset management was putting us ahead of the curve, and other communities were gonna have to start catching up, and they were gonna figure it out. Brooklyn just figured it out. They're raising their water rates this summer, 37%. So they will only be $5 behind us. My expectation is that they're gonna have to raise that rate again to a level next year that they'll actually be higher than where we are for 4,000 gallons. So they're at $57 and change for 4,000 gallons, and we're at 62.
So Sabrina, what about additional hookups? Is there any way to project like additional hookups for more people to be sharing the costs?
We try to project additional hookups based on population growth. Hookups for water correspond with sewer. And that's part of where we're at right now. We do have 2 developments in the township that have been approved by Eagle to connect to our water system, so our reliability says we can handle these other 300 units. That will certainly help a little bit. It takes a lot to really move the needle on making it lower. One of the calculations Julie and I recently did was if every single person on the water system signed up for paperless billing, and everybody on the sewer system signed up for paperless billing, so we no longer had to mail out the postcards. The cost savings per person per month was less than the cost of the regular first class stamp, because we pay the permit rate, so it was less than 50 cents per person.
I
So
would say
it
that.
takes a lot to move the
I
needle.
think it's nice that we have that billing now where you can pay, you don't have, I mean, I do like to come in and talk to everybody, but.
Yeah,
You
the-
know?
Really?
The paperless billing, the advantages of the
But that system, I
paper,
think, is gonna be helpful.
it is, and that's what we're here for. We're here to provide services to the community, and by providing the paperless option, you know, that's a service that's more convenient. The ACH, where people can just
ACH, yeah.
automatically pay and not have to do the 3% for a credit card or whatever.
Right.
These are services we're providing. Yep, to just do a better job. It's pretty exciting. Julie's done a really great job with that. Yep, that's everything I kinda had. I didn't wanna go too much over some of these things because I know a lot of council has seen this again and again and again, and we didn't have 30 people. Although I'm grateful for all of you, I think we've seen a lot of this a couple of times already as well. Any other questions on water sewer rates, how those things are calculated, what you think we're missing?
Are required to give a certain amount of notice for rate increases?
No,
No, you do it tomorrow.
but we do. People tend to get almost 60 days. is what we were able to do this year. It was really close.
On the other side of that, we will get in trouble from the federal government if the water system isn't paying for itself.
And I understand.
Yep. And it's pretty exciting. As of 2024, the water system is now out of deficit. And we're just targeting to get the sewer system. So the water system is 100% functioning on its own with no help from the taxes.